you're one of the tax collectors, right? Nativity.
Yes, the Nativity. I'm a try to be really nice. I'm still sad about that, Julie. Sorry. What's her little kid boy?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He got scared. Yeah.
Yeah, I scared him. I didn't mean to, but you know, Ashley West kids and Everett's, their little boys, they just talked right back at me.
yeah.
Oh, they were just really bold, and it was pretty. That was a lot of fun. Now, but it's always fun. I like to do it. You know, not particularly. I don't think. I mean, we come to church on Sunday, and it's, you know, you get that hour out of the way, and.
Yeah.
That didn't come out right, did it? I don't remember if I was the head of the youth group at that point. Lee was in there, and so we were doing a car wash on a Saturday out in the parking lot here.
Oh.
And Phil and I got there kind of early in the morning on a Saturday morning. We're setting our little cones up for people to drive around, you know, whatever. And some lady on one of the houses back here was screaming just like crazy. And so we looked up, and I set my coffee down. We went running over there, and this guy had electrocuted himself. Yep. And so Phil and I revived him, brought him back about like 3 times. We'd get him going, and he'd quit, and we'd get him going again. And,
oh, my God.
Yeah. That happened one Saturday morning. Stuff happens.
Yeah.
I'd had a lot of CPR classes, so
yeah, well,
it worked.
It's good. Yeah.
It absolutely works.
You just never know what's going to happen here.
Yeah.
On a Saturday morning, it's cold.
Don Welton, at one time, probably 15 years ago, said we needed to get a quartet together.
Oh.
And so he and I and Peggy and Kenny Morris formed Psalm 100, which was a Southern Gospel quartet.
Oh, wow.
And we sang here. We were unsure of how that particular music would go over in a Lutheran service, but we would sing it occasionally from time to time.
Sure.
And then the rest of the time, for probably 10 years or more, we sang at senior centers and different functions within the community.
Yes.
So that was a blessing, I think, to all of us.
Yeah.
Do that kind of thing. So we've been pretty much involved.
He did the singing, and I did the taking care of
the
sound.
She did the sound system.
The sound system.
Yeah, she took care of that. She was our engineer.
Oh, okay.
For that, so we were all involved with that. So yeah, it was Pastor Carlson here. It was Dwayne McClure and Gene Bogue and Paul Lang and Joe Chambers, and we always met Sunday morning prior to the service and had time for prayer.
Oh.
And we would sing some songs, we would pray and different things, and from time to time we would go around and maybe anoint the different rooms of the church and do those types of things. But Gene Bogue and Paul Lang, Joe Chambers too, and were really, and Dwayne McClure. I looked up to them as far as really being people that kind of influenced my life, and I looked up to them, their strong faith that they had, and the caring that they had, I think were positive influences on us. Before we got to the age where we could be members of Forever Young, and Phil Roselle had Forever Young, they would do bus trips. They would do a lot of bus trips, going different places like that. And we always talk, Dottie and I would always talk, boy, when we get to be that 55 and older that we can be in Forever Young, we'll really want to do these bus trips. Well, it got to that point, and then Phil passed away, and the bus trips kind of went away. We never really did too much in those type of bus trips. So because we had the Bear Creek Farms down the road here, not too far away, that they had musical programs. We went there a lot, and they went up to Warsaw a few times, Wabash, and different places. But our group got a little bit older when we got to that area, and we just never did a lot of those, so we kind of missed some of that.
Yeah.
But we did a few trips yet before.
We did several.
Yeah, before Phil passed away. Yeah.
Time was building a house.
Yeah, Habitat for Humanity.
Yeah.
We built
We
built a
that
framework.
one year.
Yeah, out in our parking lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah,
that-
I got pictures of that.
Yeah, yeah. And then we got the frame up, and then I think we wrote Bible verses on the wood portions of it, and yeah, so we were involved with that. That we have grown spiritually here
Right.
in our time at St. James.
Yeah, I think sometimes the fellowship in that gets, in a lot of places, gets undervalued, but it's very valuable. I mean,
Yes.
for why people remain in church. I've often asked people, well, why are you a member of this church, or why have you stayed? And the answer I very seldom get is, well, because of Missouri Synod doctrine. I usually, because this is where my friends are at.
Yeah.
And I get that.
Yeah.
It's great. The doctrine's great, and it's important. I mean, that's central. But
Oh yeah,
but people don't generally walk into the door for that or stay for that. That's something that comes maybe later.
yeah,
But that fellowship is very important.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not only very important for the people there, it's very important for the people coming in.
exactly.
And
yeah,
I think that's something this congregation has.
yeah,
And
yeah.
so-
Tell him about your San Antonio and the Brazil
like-
and the Brazil thing.
Like, what was that? I think that was my freshman one, I think. We went to San Antonio, Texas, which that's always the go-to one.
Oh, sure.
Brazil had just won the World Cup,
Oh,
that year. So I don't know if you knew this, I was born in Ecuador.
oh,
So
yeah.
was still a big Brazil soccer fan, even though I couldn't play soccer, for my life. But so we went to the Riverwalk, and they had a place called Flag World.
Oh,
So I bought a Brazilian flag for, since they had won the World Cup. And I, had the pole and everything, and I drug it around with me all throughout the youth gathering. So these Brazilian guys came up to me and thought I spoke, was from Brazil.
Oh.
So they were starting to talk to me in Portuguese. Well, I don't know any Portuguese whatsoever. So I was just swinging that flag around. Then we exchanged shirts.
Oh,
He took my National Youth Gathering shirt from Indiana,
From
oh,
St. James.
and then I have his Brazilian shirt from Brazil.
oh, that's cool.
So
He said people kept coming up to him and saying, "Welcome to America," everywhere he went. So he said, all these girls were saying things. He said, "I just started rolling with it. And I thought it would be a good way to meet people, meet girls too."
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, sure.
one of the funny things was one of our confirmation. We had we spoke from the pulpit. When we did. So we had to get up. My legs were shaking like a leaf. So I was glad to be up there. Versus now they're down. Closer to the front. And then Kyle Sample, he fainted
Oh my God.
when we were taking communion. So that was those funny things that because we were just sitting there ready. My mom was always telling me how to take the communion, and then all of a sudden I look over and Kyle's passed out.
During his communion.
Yeah.
Went with me. Margot and I had just put our house up for sale.
Oh,
And so I went down. I think there were about 25, 30 of us, and
Really?
we traveled.
Oh, my
We traveled down to first place we went was down to where Mark had been pastor in Bogalusa, Louisiana,
oh, okay.
and we stayed there at that facility, camped out there. We slept inside in the church, and went to church that day. But then the next day we drove on down and stayed there in the northern part of New Orleans.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it was a great experience. I mean, it was just, it was one of those you couldn't pay me to ever do, but because you're doing it as a service, you do it willingly.
Right.
Every day we did what's called mucking, and basically what that is, you just take a house and you strip it down to the skeleton, to the studs, drywall, furniture, everything had to come out. And so we ended up mucking 2 houses while we were there. Had to wear body suits. Back at that time, we wore looked like Ghostbusters, and we had the mask with the cylinders and the goggles and gloves. I mean, everything that was contaminated when you go into the house, you could see where the water line had been up, and it was just green and black mold almost to the ceiling in the area.
Plus, a lot of those houses, you don't know if they have asbestos.
Yeah.
It's being older in the
Well, and the
South,
intent is that they're going to come in and then spray them and clean them and then rebuild. I don't know if they ever did that or not. One, I think that they just decided that it was going to be contaminated to the point that it couldn't be done. But the other, I think the family was going to do. We had a couple of women in the first house that really were a blessing. They came and they made a big pot of
Jambalaya.
Jambalaya, and brought it out to us at our campground where we were staying, because we stayed in tents when we were there out at a church in the northern part. Metairie, I think is where it was. And they brought us a big pot of jambalaya that night. So it was a great experience, great time, and a great ministry involved. And
It was all dried up.
and we got there, and the water was about 1.5 feet high. We ended up, you could canoe a little bit, but it was probably about every 30 feet. You had to get out of the canoe, drag the canoe, and it was just
I was younger because I don't even remember it, but like I said, I tag along because where am I going to go?
Right.
Yeah.
But it took us probably about 3 hours to canoe what was supposed to be about an hour trip. And we hadn't taken anything with us, nothing to drink. And it was hot and a miserable, miserable day. And I can remember Gary Zucker and I, when we got to the final run, we said, we'll go over and get the bus and bring it over to everybody. And I can remember we just dying of thirst. And we go over to where the bus was, and right across the street, there was a bar. And he and I looked at each other, and we thought, no, we can't. We got to get back to the kids. So we thought we got to go in and get something cold to drink. But we said, no, we got to go back and get the kids. And so, but I remember we had one member, I won't mention her name, she's no longer a member of our church, that refused, because we did primitive camping, she refused to use the pit toilet. She would not go to the bathroom all weekend.
Oh my goodness!
And we just teased the daylights out of her and her husband for years after that. If you want to go camping with such and such, make sure you don't go to primitive camp.
Well, when I was in college, I was looking for a church that was a Bible-based church and wasn't kind of a liberal, Bible not being too important to him, kind of a worship service. And one of my professors, Dr. Steve Sampson, recommended St. James Lutheran Church. And I remember thinking, well, Lutherans, I'm not so sure. I heard. And he said, no. He said, Missouri Synod Lutheran, totally different.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
So that was, I think, 1987. And been attending here ever since. And when Teresa and I, we got married here. And
And what year did you get married?
1988.
88.
Okay. And what was your background?
Hardcore Wesleyan.
Okay.
Yeah, all my life Wesleyan. Went to a Wesleyan college. Yep.
Oh, okay. So you kind of joined the church together, or?
We did.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
The Board of Christian Education, we developed the whole daycare to go along with our preschool.
Oh, okay.
And that's when we built the new building, and we immediately kind of put in the daycare there. And there for a while, I believe we were the biggest daycare in Marion.
Oh, wow.
And it went real well for quite a few years. We built the playground. I'd have to mention.
Yeah, tell that story.
I'd have to mention Jim McClure and Dwayne McClure and I did the bulk of the work out there. That was just an empty field, and Jim designed the shelter house out there.
Oh, okay.
He did it all on graph paper, designed it, and then we purchased the materials, and we had some other help, people on and off volunteering, but we built that, even poured all the concrete. Now, we had several people came out and helped us when we poured the concrete, but we did that all ourselves. The sidewalk that goes out there and the asphalt path that goes around, we hired that done, of course. And we planted lots of trees out there, but unfortunately they were ash trees, and they all died.
Yeah, ash beetle was
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Yeah, and that was a funny story. When, like like I said, for 16 years, I worked every Sunday, so I wasn't here. So a lot of the people that came during that time, I didn't even know he was married because I wasn't here. So then when my roles changed and I was able to come to church, one of the first times I came to church, somebody thought that I was Joseph's girlfriend. And oh man, he did not like that.
I'm not going to mention names, but one Sunday, and I had the boys with me, and I overheard two elderly ladies behind me. She says, "I just think it's great. He raises those boys all by himself."
How has St. James impacted your faith walk?
Well, for me, it changed it completely because I came from Wesleyan.
Sure.
So even though I was Wesleyan for my whole life, I didn't like. I mean, I liked it at the time, but now that I've gotten away from it, I like the liturgy. I like the structure. That's why I like the first service, because we have the same structure all the time. And the communion, in Wesleyan, you just did not take communion, except I think it was once a quarter we took communion. So that was a big change, which I really liked here, was getting the communion. And the Wesleyans were too heavy emotionally.
A lot of emotional fervor
I did
and
not
stuff like
that.
that. Yeah.
So I like that about the church here. I like the structure. I like the constant. Yeah.
I think the first thing I did here was they talked me into teaching confirmation.
Oh, that's right. You told me
So
that.
I taught confirmation for many, many years, and Phil was the DCE then. And it was rigorous. I mean, the kids had 2 full years of confirmation instruction. They had a written exam they had to pass, and lots of memorization. But pretty similar to now. They did a banner and that sort of thing. But I had a great time with those confirmands, and Pastor Carlson and I would take them on little retreats to Rainbow Christian Camp. And it would just be he and I and all those kids.
Oh my gosh.
Everywhere, out there. We did have a good time, and we would have lock-ins just for them, just for the junior high kids. And
I mentioned the men's ministry that, for years they had a very, very good softball team. Mm-hmm. And they would invite, the high school boys to come out and play with them. And so when our son was in high school, he and some of his buddies were playing, and that was just such a good mentorship, because it was just such a wonderful group of men. Yeah. And I always would joke with Betty that, our son was helped raised by the St. James Lutheran softball team. Because it was, you look at those men, and they were just, they walked the walk. Mm-hmm. And
has anybody told you about us taking a mission trip to New York City?
No,
I didn't think so. So Brian Israel and I were talking about it because I had memories, but it's been 1996 and 97, and it had been too long, and I thought I need somebody to help me. So my daughter Erin went with us, and we were in Queens. I don't know what the connection was. If Pastor Carlson knew that pastor, but George Emmerich went. He drove one of the vans, So I was in his van, and we had to go to New Jersey before we went to New York City, because Diane is Jewish, raised Jewish, and I can't remember if it was a cousin or her brother who had died, and she'd never gotten to see the grave. Oh. So George decided we were going to that cemetery and we were going to find that grave. Oh. And by the grace of God, we did, because I don't remember him knowing where it was at all.
Oh, wow.
So, that's kind of a daunting thing, but we did that. So we were there for, I don't know, about a week, I think. Oh, wow. So we all stayed with congregation members, and we would do ministry work during the day at the parks. Oh. And it was explained to us, most of those folks living right in New York City are in apartments. So if they want relief from the heat or whatever, they're going to come to the park. Oh, okay. So we would be in one park during the day and another park in the evening. Oh, wow. Yeah, it was... I remember it being an absolutely wonderful time. My oldest daughter that went with us, Erin, said she was uncomfortable the entire time we were there. Sure. It just made her uncomfortable. But we took a day and went downtown. We saw the Twin Towers. Oh, wow. Because that was before
Right.
before 9/11, of course. And Aaron had been there on a school trip earlier this summer. So we were going to drive downtown. She said, no, we need to park and take the subway.
Oh.
And we listened to her. She was, going into freshman year in high school. But we did. So that was fun. Some of the tutors went on that trip. And
so we went out on this call, and it was a winter night, and it was cold. And we went to this one house, and I can't remember, it was a lead or whatever. And we went to their house, and he invited us in. I noticed that he was somewhat an older person, elder. Of course, today he'd be my age probably. When I think I was probably in my 30s back then. So went to us inside. We sit down and we talked to him for a while. And after we'd finished, sharing about our church and Christ and the part that he plays in our lives, and then he asked us he said, "I don't have a car. Would you guys be able to take us to the grocery store? It was a drugstore or someplace?" And I said, "Well, yeah, I guess we could do that for you." So he went out to the car. We went out to the car, and he got in the back seat, I remember, and as I noticed, he was a little bit feeble. So he got in the back seat, and I said, I don't remember if I said, "Are you in?" or what, but I thought he was in. So I closed the door and I closed it on his leg.
Oh.
And I said, "I am so sorry. I bet that hurt." He said, "Oh, no." He said, "I have a wooden leg."
We used to have these dinners. They were like a Valentine's Day sweetheart dinners, and you had so many courses of the meal, and then you'd have part of the play. It was a mystery dinner.
Oh, okay.
I think somebody else has mentioned that before too.
Yeah.
So anyway, one of the plays called for, was it Pastor was going to be a sailor or something? I'm not sure.
And this was Pastor Carlson.
Pastor Carlson.
Okay.
And so I colored one of the other ladies' hair gray. I sprayed it and all that. And then when it came to Pastor, I don't know why I got this wild hair, an idea that I ought to color his hair with peroxide. Well, it went darker than I thought it was going to. But everybody thought, oh, it'll wash out, and I think I did his mustache and his eyebrows. So anyway, everybody was, laughing and all that. Come Sunday morning, he gets his robes on and he's headed down the aisle. He turns around and his hair's black and his beard's black and his eyebrows are black and everybody goes, Well, Carol wasn't real happy about that. Carol's still mad at me. In fact, I saw her at one of the funerals here, and she said, "I'm still mad at you." We used to have a lot of 4th of July parties at our house when we lived over on Harold Road. And, we'd invite the church. Well, there might be 100 of us,
wow.
There was a lot. And
Swimming party, more or less.
yeah, and then everybody bring a dish or whatever and to eat. And one time I was talking to, it was Nancy Donahue was our secretary, and her husband Richard was a policeman. And we were talking about, you got to stay because we got fireworks, and all this, because then we had 5 acres, so you could see them forever. And so I said, Richard, we went to Kentucky on the way home from Florida and stopped and got fireworks.
Illegals.
And illegal. I said, they're illegals, Of course, and I forgot or didn't know he was a policeman.
Oh.
So I was just telling him about all the illegal stuff we had in the house and everything. And finally he says, "You do know I'm a policeman." And I said, "Oh, no, I'm going to jail. I'm going to jail." He said, "I brought my own." He said, "They're all illegal too." And so he went and opened up the trunk of his car, and he had all these illegal fireworks. So we had a good fireworks show, but it was funny.
Stories or funny anecdotes that happened through all the years.
Yeah, we were just talking about that last night. Mine was with Phil, because when I started coming here, it took him a while to remember my name, so he just, for the longest time, he called me Bob.
Really?
Yeah, he could never remember. It's just call me Bob. And then once he knew my name and had it remembered, he just still called me Bob, just to be funny. Yeah, so
I think your footprint up there does say Bob on it.
It may say Bob on it. I don't know.
I think it says Bob on it because
Yeah, it's funny. For the longest time, he just called me Bob.
Yeah,
but
he said he was like, well, he just figured another boyfriend. He didn't need to.
Yeah, I
remember
figured
my
he
name.
probably didn't try to remember my name because it's 8th grade. He probably didn't think I was going to be around very long.
Yeah. So he always called him Bob, but
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, again, we were talking about last night also with Phil. So the National Youth Gathering that I was supposed to go to was my senior year, I think, and volleyball
the second
was the first time. So volleyball, 2-a-days and tryouts were that week, and I wasn't going to be able to make the team if I didn't go, if I went to National Youth Gathering. So Phil made a deal that I could go the next time as a counselor, but I wasn't old enough to go as a counselor. So he lied on my National Youth application on my age to say I was old enough to be a counselor.
It worked.
So I went with Sean Wiillman and BJ and Ashley Everett, Ashley West.
Oh, wow.
And Cassie Smith and those guys. So I went with a class that was kind of a year.
Oh, wow. That's funny.
2 years. Or,
so what's it like? So you went through, the program at church. What's it like now having your kids go through it?
Yeah, I mean, I watch them and get to see them growing and learning, and especially, well, all of them, but like they're just at different stages, so that's kind of fun too. Like Brady's the oldest, and he just takes everything from Tom, like in his Sunday school class, and it's so much more like in depth than even just Luke's in Miss Pat's class. So it's it's just fun to see like their different levels of understanding. And then like if Luke asks something in the car after church, like Brady will start answering his question, and so like that's kind of fun to like see them teaching each other and stuff like that. So that's fun.
Keep continuing.
I'd like when they come home from hopefully move back from college, that the church is here and supportive and still able to have grandkids here, and just I mean, yes, growth, but just I really appreciate the community of the church, and I don't know, it's just like I think back to when we were youth, and it was like as far as the youth goes, all their parents felt like influences, so I just want that for like our kids, you know what I mean? So like the Wiillmans and the Aarons, and they just everybody just felt like we all were the Kleins. Everybody was raising us all together, and that was just like a good supportive environment with not just our parents, but outside influences too, that you knew cared about you, and you knew wanted the best for you, and so it was just nice.
You do counting.
I do the counting
on Mondays.
Janice on Monday. Okay. Actually, Kathy and I and Sue Israel did it before
we
COVID.
started it after the counting team disbanded. They all retired at once.
Oh my goodness!
Sue and Pat and I took it over then until the COVID.
Until COVID,
and we had the best time in the world.
Oh my gosh, we were so funny.
They sang. She wrote poems. We had the most wonderful Monday mornings.
Yes, we stayed a long time, didn't we?
And COVID hit. I feel the same way about the church dinners. Probably not as strong, but I think the church dinners is great outreach.
I like to eat, and I mean that's one of my favorite things. So I think most people do.
It's a huge thing off of people's shoulders to know that they can have their family and they can visit with them and not be disturbed and not have to work. It's just the church dinners are a beautiful thing.
Yes.
And we have a lot of good cooks.
Oh, well, that's
this congregation. So
we love the cooking as much because it all comes in the back door.
Yes. I always hate to get on the scale on Thursday morning.
I last night, it was at soup supper last night, so I just started out with 2 bowls. Like soup bowl, this one, and then I went back for another one later on. I was like, well, I'm not going to make many trips. I'll just save myself.
I had that soup for breakfast this morning.
Did you?
It was delicious too. I'm still.
Oh yeah.
The first time I met Phil, I brought my grandsons here for VBS, and I happened to say, "Do you need any help?" That was it. Get to work right away. And then, of course, he passed. What, a couple years later, didn't he?
Yeah, he wasn't retired very long. Yeah, you don't ask Phil if you need help.
Oh,
Because I polished all the pews once with Murphy's oil soap and then had to go over them with liquid gold.
oh.
Oh my gosh.
He had a list in his
Yeah.
head. Don't ask.